from your breaking news and weather authority. This is 13 Wham News at 5.
From multiple water rescues to broken roads, the floods of 2025 taking a toll on the Rochester region.
And now team coverage as the recovery begins.
I've never seen it this bad.
The fury of a flash flood, waters rapidly rising, leaving many with nowhere to turn.
Roads ripped apart, homes and basements bombarded by the deluge.
The storm also prompting this stern reminder.
It's pretty simple. You see water, you don't know the depth of it, just park the car or turn around and go another way.
Full team coverage for the next 90 minutes as dangerous conditions persist in some areas. Good afternoon. I'm Karen Edwards.
I'm Matt Malloy. Cleanup and damage assessment is now underway. Heavy damage, especially south of Rochester. The collapse of Sackett Road in Avon. Look at that.
Also, Lyons Road crumbling in Henrietta. Creeks and streets also spilling over their banks. A lot of ground to cover in the storm's aftermath.
We begin our team coverage with 13 Wham's Carly Miner live from that collapsed road in Avon and how communities are just starting to recover. Carly, good afternoon.
Yeah, Matt, Karen, and I'll take a step out of the way just so you guys can see the damage. Now, just take a look. This whole road collapsed right here behind me on Sackett Road in Avon. Crews have been out here since yesterday cleaning up after floodwaters came rushing through Livingston County. Wednesday's rainfall left parts of Livingston County underwater. These are just some videos and photos taken in the last 24 hours.
It's total chaos.
Cameron Copeland tells me he took a drive today from Lakeville to Avon and was shocked by what he saw.
I took some aftermath pictures and showed that there was about 2.5 to 3 feet of sediment just laying in the road. And then today I went around to other sites and just took the aftermath video of roads being washed out.
Spencer Brisbane lives in an apartment complex near Canisius Lake. He tells me he lives on a hill and still got flooding.
What happens is the creek gets full of debris and it kind of dams up, and then when we get rainfall like we did yesterday, it washes it all out down to the culvert on Westlake Road, and it plugs.
They both tell me they haven't seen rain like this in years.
The last time I remember seeing anything like this was, I don't think ever.
These images show some of yesterday's damage. Roads broken apart and collapsing, steady water running under railroad tracks, and even roadways covered in floodwaters.
I always hope that nobody gets hurt and property can be replaced.
And traffic is closed on Sackett Road for this period of time, so drivers will have to find an alternate route. Reporting live in Avon, Carly Miner, 13 Wham News.
Carly, thank you. New video tonight as well of Irondequoit Creek spilling over into Ellison Park. The water's creeping right up into this driveway at a home on Park Road in Brighton. The dangerous deluge prompting multiple water rescues as the floods quickly took over.
Our Lowell Rose met with homeowners and first responders today, sharing firsthand accounts of the wild June storm. Lowell.
Good evening, Matt and Karen. Now, fire officials in Henrietta tell me crews responded to roughly 120 calls from when that rain started Wednesday afternoon until midnight, and calls continue throughout this morning because of more flooding. Drivers on Commerce Drive in Henrietta were met with floodwaters this morning as they came and left for work.
It's nonstop, and I've lived in Rochester my whole life. I've never seen water collect this much in the middle of roads and stuff. So
one of several sites for Tony Ardillo, the owner of Gates Towing. His company has responded to countless calls since flash flooding on Wednesday.
Yeah, the phones haven't stopped, and most of the cars we have to winch out of the water, but some of them they made it through, but then the car died because the water got in the engine or the electronics.
The driver of this SUV wasn't so lucky as he left from work this morning. He didn't want to go on camera, but said the water was much lower when he came into work last night.
The road being closed is going to affect our business for a couple of days. We deliver bread, and we can't get back to the bakery that's landlocked back in the corner.
Henrietta Fire District says it responded to more than 100 calls Wednesday afternoon until midnight.
It went south very, very quickly, and calls started stacking up. Obviously, we had the water problems, flooded basements, flooded streets.
We had multiple water rescues.
Fire Chief Mark Charlotte says some parts of town saw 5 feet of water in areas that don't usually flood, so it created a ton of problems.
Water from Red Creek was still up to the back doors of a lot of these businesses,
including several trucks and vehicles totaled on Carmridge Drive because of floodwaters.
I've been doing this all my life, and if the water gets into the engine, water doesn't burn. And electronics don't like water, so it's not a good mix.
Gatestone is heeding its own advice.
I'm not going in here. This truck costs too much money, and I got electronics in here too. So I don't want to hurt this truck to go get a car. It'd be kind of foolish.
And given the wet ground and wind advisory this evening, fire officials say they're watching for possible isolated tree damage or downed power lines. Scott.
Luell, great story. Thank you very much. And it really drives home, especially from the last guy we talked to there, about not going into this water. Even if you have this perception you've got enough room, in that type of event, you don't. Here's why. Once you get to 1 or 2 feet of water, look what it can do. It could carry away a vehicle. And you heard the report there, up to 5 feet of water, 60 inches of water. So don't do it. It's not smart, especially how expensive cars are and all the electronics in every car these days. We ranked number 8 all time for rainiest days ever recorded. And you can see a lot of them were recorded in the 19th century when data was kept downtown. Now, this one's an airport number. So are these two on number 3 and 4. But one of the wettest days ever, and you lived through it. Right now, we got more rain, but here's the good news with this. It's going to move through quickly, and it's not going to produce any flash flooding. No additional flooding from these showers. They are moving through right now. They should be out of here in a couple of hours. Here's a look at the wham cam. 70 now. It's windy, as we talked about on the, again, that story about maybe some minor tree damage occurring if the winds pick up. Don't think that's a big deal, though, Matt. Tomorrow, we'll have a few more showers in the afternoon, perhaps. But big heat is the next story. We'll talk about that coming up in a few.
Scott, thank you. The floods haven't just taken a toll on roads and homes, but also vehicles, as many drivers became caught in the rising waters from that storm.
13 Wham's Natalie Calzatoni spoke with the experts today and picks up this part of our team coverage. Natalie.
Yeah, Karen, Matt, I spoke with a local auto shop that is busy helping customers with flood-related damage and an expert about having the right car insurance. Heavy rain and flooding in Henrietta Wednesday, causing vehicles like this one to be towed to Bracolo Automotive on Wellsville Street.
It went through standing water, and it was unable to start afterwards.
Michael Bracolo says the auto shop had more than 20 calls following the dramatic rainfall, and multiple vehicles were brought with water inside the engines.
There's going to be catastrophic engine damage. It usually happens right then and there. Some people are lucky, they make it through the water, and they might have some lingering electrical issues.
Over at AAA, David Kerr says it's important to make sure drivers have proper insurance to help cover costs.
In order to cover any damage on a car due to a flood, you would need comprehensive coverage on there. So a lot of times there may be hidden damage. So don't, if your car was in the flood and it still seems to be running okay now, you still want to call up and get that looked at. You still want to make sure there's no hidden damage that's going to come out down the road that you find out months from now.
And experts advise people to avoid driving through water. Matt?
Natalie, thank you. A reminder, you can always check the latest forecast and watch live radar when you download our free 13 Wham Weather Authority app.